Good morning. It is just ever so slightly raining in my backyard right now, which is why I put my little umbrella just above me so that if it decides to switch from a little tiny gentle rain, I'm not gonna get soaked. Anyways, how's your day going so far? I hope that it's going well. I was having all these crazy dreams last night, I guess, about practicing in the studio again. It feels like it's been so long since we have had a class in person. It was like actually in my dream I was like I had done a class and we were trying to make sure we followed all of the social distancing protocol and everything. And then I realized that we had opened the studio before we were allowed to, and I was like panicking and I misunderstood the information, and it was like there's a terrible ending to like such a great dream. It was so nice to practice with all of you again. But yeah. Anyways, moving on to more root chakra practice. So one of the very best ways that we can meditate for the root chakra is to actually do walking meditation, feet on the ground walking. If you can, if you're comfortable to, walking with bare feet is exceptional, because then you can really feel the ground underneath you. You can feel the temperature. You can feel the blades of grass. Hi. Do you want to come sit over there? You can feel the blades of grass. You can feel the moisture of the ground. It's very nice. There are a bunch of reported health benefits too for walking barefoot on the earth. One of the things I've come across before is how we like dispel free radicals, like floating electrons that are in our body, because our body is basically a giant electrical system. Hi. Because our body is basically a giant electrical system. It's stepping on the grass or on the ground, the earth outside, barefoot can get rid of some of the extra electrons in our body. It's called grounding. Feel free to look into it more. It's pretty interesting. There's all sorts of people that will wrap wires around themselves and then put the wires like out through windows and plug them into the ground so that they can be grounding even while they're in their house. You want to lay down? Oh. I know, you just don't want me to stop petting you. Another benefit of it is that, you lay down. Oh dude, you're shedding. The soles of our feet are really porous. So when we walk on the earth, our feet are able to absorb minerals from the ground, from the earth. When I'm talking to people about essential oils, I'll often tell them that one of the best places for them to put essential oils, to get them into their body, to get the properties of the oil into them, is actually on the soles of their feet. Especially if it's something that you're not particularly fond of the smell of, you can put it on the soles of your feet and then put socks on so you don't have to smell it a lot. And it's the same. Hi, I know. It's the same. That same thing. Oh, I know. that happens when we walk on the earth, like our feet in the ground absorb all these minerals from the dirt, from the soil. Walking meditation can be like a long practice. It could be, a really in-depth mindful practice where we set out to spend time walking and just be as present as we can. That was my cat jumping off of my fence to the ground. I think it just started raining, and he is like he's not feeling the rain. He's not taking it, so he's hiding by our back door now. Anyways, you can set out to do like a really profound walking meditation where you walk a distance. There's I know they're not open right now, but there's those beautiful gardens at Germain Park. So you could be walking through there and just really be as focused as possible on taking in the beauty of your surroundings and looking at the flowers and smelling the plant life around you. When we practice these mindfulness practices, noticing everything we possibly can with all of our senses. So it can be like a big, planned out, intentional thing where we go and we walk. It could be, just walking through your neighborhood and doing the same practice without having to go somewhere. And it can be super simple. When my youngest son started school, he is super, without sounding too hokey, he's super sensitive to other people's energies. And sometimes he would get home from school and be in like horrific moods. He was super hard to deal with. And when he would get off of the bus, the very first thing we would do is we would say, "Buddy, take your shoes off," and just have him walk around our front yard. So it doesn't even have to be anything big. We would walk around the front yard together and we would talk about feeling the grass on our feet. And the thought was that just like we said that you could, more like scientifically, kind of almost like have electricity conducted away from you through the ground, we taught him that he could get rid of his negative emotions by walking in our front yard, so that when he walked into our home, it was like a fresh start. It was like he walked off the day and that was gone. I talk with my hands so much. He walked off the day and that was gone, that energy. And then when he came into the house, it was starting over again. So I think like anything in our yoga practice, we can make things very complex and deep and profound, and we can also have them be really small and simple and accessible. And I feel like the more that I practice, I find that I really need both of those things in my practice. I really need the complex, and I need to learn things I didn't already know, and I need to struggle through some of my practice, and I need it to be hard, and I need it to be like deep. I need it to be deep, and then I also need it to be simple and quick and accessible. So, anyways, my plan was to film a little outside restorative practice, so we'll see how the weather holds up. I didn't think it was supposed to start raining until like 9, so it's only like 8, maybe 7:30, 8. So we'll see. Anyways, feel free to leave a comment and let me know how the root chakra work is going for you so far. And also feel free to let me know of anything that I could expand on or explain in more detail to help you. So if you're looking at this video, and obviously you've seen this video, on our YouTube channel there's a bunch of classes that are being added all the time for this root chakra, or for the 7-week series, the Putting in the Work series. This week I'm focusing on root chakra. The best part of this series is you can literally pick it up at any point in time. On the website, there is a link at the like the toolbar, the navigation at the top, and there's a tab called Putting in the Work, and then there are blog posts added underneath. So far we're only at root chakra because I'm unrolling this out as I go, and then inside of that blog post there is quite a bunch of stuff that is on there for kind of extra information for mudra and chanting, and what else is in there? I can't even remember. Mudra, chanting, mantra. I don't know. I'm adding essential oil stuff on there today, and yeah. Okay, for real this time. Bye. Have a great day.